Podquest.
Welcome to our latest sponsored television program, Kraft Macaroni and Grandma. Where each week, Grandma gets up to some weird shenanigans with Kraft macaroni and cheese. What will it be this time? Is it going to be macaroni and hot dogs, or macaroni and string, or macaroni and a bicycle chain, which is kind of like string, I guess, but a little bit more industrial? Who's to say?
Grandma, if you're up there listening, I love you.
Yeah, pour one out for Neil's grandma.
They get podcasts in the afterlife, right?
Only certain ones, so we have to make sure we hit the criteria.
You think there's another Neil and Corey out there doing the same thing, but like the roles are reversed, and Corey's seen the show and Neil hasn't, and also he spells it with an I, and the other Corey spells it without an E, and they're just lamer versions of us. They're just in Mortal Kombat fashion. They look exactly like us, just palette swapped.
Yeah, they're wearing green shirts. Red shoes? Just like everyone's favorite, Powell and Pressburger film, I think. The Red Shoes.
See, I only know the Red Shoe Diaries.
I don't know what that is.
I don't actually really remember. I think it was like late night USA Channel censored softcorn hosted. Softcore.
Welcome to the Farmers Only dating website Softcorn section.
I gotta look this up. Hold on. This will be good.
Farmers Only? Fuck yeah, Farmers Only is a real thing.
Oh, I know.
Are you looking up soft... Dude...
No, I'm not looking up softcorn. I'm looking up Red Shoe Diaries.
For what it's worth, I'm talking about a movie from 1948 that I haven't seen yet, but my friend keeps telling me to see it a lot, and I just haven't gotten to it. But I will, eventually.
And I am talking about the 66-episode-long Red Shoe Diaries TV series hosted by David Duchovny.
No, I won't do a podcast about that. I just want to get out in front of this one.
5 seasons. That's a lot of episodes, man.
It's too many.
Jake yearns to understand the secret of life of his late fiancée. To find the answer, he solicits the most heartfelt, passionate, and intimate entries in other women's diaries. These are their stories.
What?
Yeah, that's what I remember. I think he would just like... It was basically him like reading penthouse letters, and then it like cuts to like the segment where they filmed whatever this shit is.
Yeah, this says Red Shoe Diaries is an American erotic drama series that aired on Showtime.
That's right up our alley,
It was distributed by Playboy.
You know what else is an American erotic drama series? Mortal Kombat Conquest.
There it is.
We got there.
We got him.
Should we jump into this?
You're really proud of yourself.
We worked hard to get there.
It's good. Mortal Kombat Conquest is a television show. We're watching it. This is episode 2 of us watching it, which naturally leads me to assume that this is episode 2 of the show as well.
It's episode 2, but technically also just the second half of episode 1. I can't make it any clearer than that.
I'm on board. I'm following you.
Episode 2, Warrior Eternal Part 2. So one thing we didn't do last episode, we should probably do here, is give credit to the writer and the director.
Yeah, we should probably be giving the crew credit.
So Part 1 and 2, they were both written by Juan Carlos Coto, hope I'm saying that right, and directed by Ole Sasson. But yeah, credit where credit's due. These are the guys who sort of kind of defined the aesthetic for the entire series. We also got to give a shout out to Jonathan Sloat. He did all the music for the series, as far as I can tell.
Fuck yeah, bud. Hell yeah, dude. Dude shreds.
Yeah, it's like if you've heard anyone out there who hasn't watched the show, you've seen the movies, it's kind of the Muzak version of the music from the movies, but that's a compliment.
That's a great comparison point.
All right, let's just jump into it, right?
Let's just get right into it.
So the episode, they give us a nice little previously on segment.
Was not expecting that. Loved it. Bespoke narration.
Yeah, they really did our job for us, honestly. If we just watch one episode ahead and say that,
yeah,
just repeat the previously on, we won't really have to do much work.
Except we can't end it with "my name is Raiden" because our names aren't Raiden.
So there's two things in that previously on that stuck out to me. The first is they made it very, very clear to remind you that the Baron called Jen his property.
Can I point out a thing that I noticed that I thought was weird?
Absolutely.
They name Vorpax, and yet in either part of Warrior Eternal, she is not addressed by name.
Are you sure? I'm pretty sure she introduces herself in the first episode.
I really don't think she does, because you had to tell me what her name was.
That super common name, Vorpax.
Yeah, because I remember saying they just don't, like, you think it's Jade because green, but yeah, I swear they didn't do that. So I thought it was weird that she was named in the recap.
Maybe it's just kind of like how sometimes you look at a guy and you're like, hey, that guy looks like a Brad. And he's like, hey, I'm Brad. Some people just look like.
That guy's name is Jeff, for sure.
He's like, maybe it's just like, I looked at her and I was like, oh, that's definitely a Vorpax.
That guy's name is Sadak. You can tell by the balls on his head.
Fucking Sadak. I got to write his name down. I keep forgetting it.
I pulled that straight out of my own mind. I just remembered that.
The other thing that the previously on pointed out that I meant to say in the first episode is when Kung Lao beats Shang Tsung, he does it with that classic Mortal Kombat uppercut that sends him flying.
Yeah.
That was a nice detail of that fight that I skipped over. Like, that was some good, well-known Mortal Kombat action, because everybody knows all you have to do in Mortal Kombat 1 is just sweep and uppercut and you can win every match, except against Goro. So I thought that was a nice detail. Nice little reference to the games, those fucking raw-ass uppercuts.
Again, choreography's great, all the way down to matching the in-game uppercut moves, which I'll totally take.
All right, so then the episode starts proper. I guess over Raiden's previously on, he mentions that like Kung Lao's fate like lies in the hands of the thief.
Yeah.
And so we zoom in on Taja. She's living, I thought it was a prison at first, but it's just the basement of the trading post where she's been held captive.
It is a cell, though.
It really, yeah, there's like chains on the walls and shit.
It's the Baron's prison. It's just in his house.
What do you think he uses that for when he doesn't have people captured?
I don't want to speculate. I don't want to get into this man's weird, bad life.
That guy sucks.
But probably Scrabble.
So Taja's in the basement of the trading post, the dungeon-like basement of the trading post, and she's like, I guess, dreaming about the previous events. She's like dreaming about Kung Lao stopping Zero from killing her or something.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know why we're getting a flashback. I think they just worried we forgot.
And then she's also like remembering the Baron being disgusting and groping her and all that, forcibly kissing her and all that nasty shit.
I think it's just it's all post-traumatic stress.
Yeah, she's definitely gone through a lot of trauma in the past day and isn't dealing with it too well. And then someone starts talking to her.
And anyone who's ever seen Raiden before would know it was Raiden, because I need to get across right now that he is doing the shittiest job of not just seeming like Raiden in a hood.
No, but I guess she's never seen him before.
That's the only reason it works.
His regular clothes make him look like a beggar also. So, like what's the disguise here? And what's with his accent?
He has to make sure that people don't think he's Raiden.
When he's talking to her, he's like, yeah, when they were sneaking the other guy out.
Yeah, he's doing like a weird New York kind of thing.
Yeah, he sounds like Kevin Corrigan.
I don't know who that is.
He was the drama teacher on Community. He's been in like everything. You look him up. He's been in...
I'll have to look him up because that did not help me at all.
Yeah, you 100% know who he is, but he's like, hey, I hear if this Kung Lao guy dies, then the fate of humanity dies too, but what are you gonna do, eh?
I like how he's in Goodfellas, and you're like, yeah, the guy from Community.
All right, so anyway, so he says this whole thing about, hey, if Kung Lao dies, humanity's gonna die, and Taja reveals herself to be a Mortal Kombat denier, passing it all off as like old legend, right? So...
Mortal Kombat denier. And Taja reveals that she doesn't believe climate change is real.
Yeah, so then Taja's like, hey, old man, thief, beggar guy, get me out of here. And he's like, hey, there's nothing I can do,
I'm walking here.
You're going to need another strong warrior to help you pull this gate off. And then he like poofs out of there. He like bamfs out of there.
And then she inexplicably gets out without anybody's help.
Well, she's not, that's the thing. It's not a dungeon. She's not locked up in there. I think that gate that she wants to remove is the gate out. I think she's like trapped in the trading post still.
Then why didn't he go into the room? Because they very much make it seem like she's locked in the room.
Yeah, it's a little sloppy, isn't it? Because I straight up thought it was a jail cell until...
Well, I thought it was very much about she has to get out of that. And then... Because later she says, can't believe I'm breaking back into here. Which implies that it's the same room.
I do think it's get out of the trading post as a whole, right? Like that
I
gate.
don't think it's that, because it's very specific. It very much looks like the same gate.
Okay, what? Yeah, who knows? The show doesn't even know.
Tasha makes an amazing first impression because she feels like a real character. Unbelievable. Just give someone any personality at all, and it turns out they're interesting.
Yeah, she's great. She got a lot of great moments in this episode. Like, it's a bummer that last episode she didn't really get to do anything, but like she's kind of the star of this one, really. I got all kinds of notes on Tasha. She's a great character, and the show needs her also.
Yeah. And then anyway, they're gonna go crash an execution.
And we cut to the trading post, and the guards are marching Ciro out of the trading post, and Jen is there sobbing. Our good friend Daniel Bernhardt, friend of the show.
Yeah.
Ciro's exiled from the trading post, and Jen's sad about it.
Yeah. That's pretty much, yeah, basically.
Takeda says some shitty stuff to Jen while she's like sobbing about her entire life being fucking ruined by her dad. And he's like, you better hurry or you're going to miss Kung Lao's execution. And she's like, fuck.
Is his voice different yet? Because he very much has a different voice later in the episode.
At this point, you can see that on his like black ninja outfit, he started to add yellow details.
Yeah, which is just absolutely inexplicable. Apparently part of the Scorpion transformation, his clothes will change.
Yeah, he got some iron-ons.
Yeah, he went to fucking Hot Topic. Bro went to Journeys and was like, yo, just fuck me up with patches and shit.
You got any yellow serpent-like things? I want those on my...
Can I get 12 of them, please? Don't tell my mom I was here. You can't tell Derek, you can't tell my mom I was here. She's gonna be so mad.
Also, while I'm here, can I get my nose pierced? I swear I'm old enough.
This money was for school supplies. Please don't tell my dad.
This feels like it's coming from personal experience.
All I'm saying is nobody can ever confirm that I've been inside of a Journeys.
So then we cut to the cobalt mines, and Shang Tsung I think he's like meditating or something, and Vorpax walks up and...
Channeling some shit, yeah.
Yeah, he's definitely channeling some shit. I guess he's controlling the Scorpion.
Maybe. I genuinely have no idea if he is.
Yeah, I think that we have to assume that, because of something we'll see later, but Vorpax is like, oh, good news, Kung Lao's gonna be killed. Baron Raylan's gonna have Kung Lao defeated, so you get everything you want today. And Shang Tsung is like mad about this because he's
like, God damn it, I was gonna kill that guy.
I need his soul or my powers will fade. Oh, I gotta get that soul.
He's got soul and he's super bad.
Vorpax is like, we got the Scorpio there. The Scorpion will make sure that you get Kung Lao's soul, but then you should free the Scorpion, right? So it's like some kind of like quid pro quo deal between the two, but it kind of implies that Shang Tsung is like commanding the Scorpion and is going to grant it its freedom after he gets Kung Lao's soul, kind of like the genie in Aladdin.
I didn't totally get the impression that he was controlling it or directly involved. Like, there's some kind of deal that needs to be made for sure.
Right.
But it sort of strikes me that like it's more of a whatever warrior was inside the Scorpion has accepted terms and is now trying to do that, so then they have a deal.
Yeah, Shang Tsung's not playing as Scorpion. Like, he didn't select Scorpion at the character select screen.
He's not controlling Scorpion.
Yeah, they've made a deal. I guess he's controlling him in the way that like a general controls his troops, right? That's the impression I got.
Yeah.
So we cut to Kung Lao's execution, and it's like a public execution just at the trading post, I think. And they've got him up on like the stage, and all like the Zhujian people are like cheering for him to die.
Inexplicably, yeah. Everybody's just like, hey, fucking, I want to watch this man bleed. And it's like,
cut that motherfucker's head off. And then like Jen runs up on stage and the guards drag her off. Her dad's up there.
Hold on. On stage?
It's an execution stage.
I don't know if it's a stage.
It's an elevated platform.
Are they called stages?
So I wanted to know the term, so I started Googling beheading terms.
Uh-huh. Having a normal one, of course.
I couldn't find anything. The platform, it definitely looks like a stage to me. I mean, it is kind of a public show, right? But, you know, they're going to put him in the stocks and they're going to cut his head off. And so what I learned was in like medieval times, of all the various public execution methods, beheading was considered one of the most honorable and least painful.
Highest rating on Metacritic.
Exactly. Yeah. It was like typically reserved for like knights and noble people and stuff like that versus like hanging to death or being drawn and quartered or any of that other good shit.
Or being forced to run for a really long time.
Dragged behind a cart or
dragged behind 2 carts.
Strapped behind a bunch of horses that all run in different directions.
Strapped behind 3 carts.
4 carts, 5 carts, you name it.
Every cart makes it hurt more. It's an objective fact.
Yeah. So like this is treating like Kung Lao's execution as like a disgraceful thing, but like the truth is it was like the preferred way to die.
Yeah, but they also don't live in medieval times. It's fantasy world. There's wizards and shit.
But it is Earthrealm 500 years ago.
And also Shang Tsung's not real.
And also Shang Tsung's arguably not real.
I don't know how much of a debate there is for that, but okay.
For the purposes of this podcast, it's an execution stage.
Yeah, and on that stage, Kung Lao is, he's given some time to pray, but Taja has had her big, like, wow, I can't believe I'm doing this, but I guess I'm going to go out there and stop the bad thing.
We get a brief cut back to Shang Tsung, who's just straight up like, I can feel his suffering and it's wonderful.
Which seems new.
He is into it, too.
He's super horny for it, yeah.
Yeah, so like after Jen runs off the stage, like in tears, I think she runs by Taja and the guard comes in. The guard who pushed Jen off the stage comes in and Taja's like, oh, hey, I need to take a bath, but I'm chained up. My hands are bound together, and I can't take my clothes off. Can you help me? She, like, straight up uses the guard's horniness to escape.
Yeah, and honestly, good bit.
Power move. Great move. Fits with the show.
It's with the theme.
So then she gets Jen, and she's like, I need your help. We have to free Kung Lao. He saved my life. I owe him. Go get your dad's keys.
Yeah, so Taja goes, I guess I'm just going to hit this executioner and see what happens. He just sort of swings wildly behind him at whatever it was that hit him without checking to see, maybe it was a friend. Maybe it's the Uber Eats delivery guy. It could really have been anybody. And he was like, I'm prepared to take this person's head off with a giant axe. And then fight scene ensues.
Yeah, I think it's also cool that Jen, like, straight up helped.
Yeah, she kicks a guy, like, right in the fucking chest.
She kicked a guard. She got Kung Lao out of the stockade. And her dad is like, what are you doing, Jen? She's got like a bow staff, right? Like Donatello.
She's got some kind of thing. I don't know if it's like precisely, I think it's more of an improvised weapon, but yeah.
She's got a mop stick.
Yeah, she's got a bucket.
And her dad's like, what are you doing, Jen? She's like, I'm setting Kung Lao free. And he's like, well, how could you choose him over your own father? Like a real manipulative piece of shit. And she just kind of like pokes him like with the stick and they just kind of exit the stage. And yeah, fucking fight scene ensues, right?
Yeah. And there's a bunch of flips and kicks and shit.
Taja, she can fight.
Yeah.
She's taking on 2 guards at once. Kung Lao's fighting Takeda. And I loved how like when they would show like Kung Lao and Takeda fighting, you would still see like Taja taking on the guards in the background.
Yeah, I like that it's consistent. And I also like that the choreography is good enough that I don't care that they're not making much of an effort to disguise the stunt people.
Yeah, it's not too distracting. You can definitely tell if you look for it. It's there, but...
Oh, yeah. Not even if you look for it. Sometimes they're just like, that's just a different... That's not... Paolo... Am I saying that right? His first name, Montalban?
Paolo.
That's not that. Paolo
Yeah.
Montalban? That's not that man. But,
Yeah. That's a woman in a Paolo Montalban wig.
It's like a Scooby-Doo-esque. You pull him off, and it's just like, that's not Paolo Montalban.
It's like when you take Raiden's hat off and the wig comes with it.
Yeah, and it's like, that's bald Raiden. Braden.
But I thought that was a sick fight.
Yeah, there's just a lot of jumping and flipping and kicking. Needless flipping from some guards. Just needless, pointless jump flips.
Because it looks cool.
Just visually pleasing shit. Yeah, it's a good time. The show continues to thrive when it's doing Mortal Kombat shit.
Yeah, that's definitely the meat of the episodes, watching these cool fights.
Yeah.
So Taja and Kung Lao eventually like escape. They beat down the guards enough that they're able to make a break for it. And we cut to our man Ciro, who's just kind of walking through a forest. He's got a satchel and no sleeves on.
No sleeves. I have multiple notes about this team being the no sleeves gang, and then Kung Lao felt like he had to compensate by wearing a long sleeved shirt.
Ciro's definitely a sun's out, guns out kind of guy.
And I mean, if you've got arms that look like that, yeah. Yeah, fuck sleeves, dude. Sleeves are for fucking losers and people with small twig arms like myself.
Yeah, but he's walking through the forest on his own. He's just got this leather satchel. As far as we know, it's just got a single apple in it.
Seemingly, yeah.
Because he's now interrupted in his weird sojourn by a beggar.
Who's definitely not Raiden.
No, just a lowly beggar.
And I know he can teleport and do flips, and I know you're thinking that sounds like stuff Raiden can do. It's not Raiden.
No.
Trust me.
Just some beggar. Just some beggar.
Just some beggar who hears things and was heard that Zero quit his job because he fucking sucked at it. And then Zero's like, yo, bitch, who told you that? I will fucking kill them.
Yeah, as Raiden, I mean, the beggar is eating his apple. Just takes his apple.
Yeah. Zero apparently does not like his honor being challenged.
Yeah, you insult his ego.
Well, in his like sense of responsibility, because he took that job really fucking seriously.
But you insult his honor, he's ready to try to roundhouse kick you from 6 feet away.
Yeah.
But yeah, he starts throwing some kicks and punches, and not Raiden. It's Raiden. Okay, can we just drop this?
It's okay.
It's Raiden.
Yeah, sorry. Look, earlier. Start playing the special, a very special episode, 80s sitcom music. Look, earlier this episode, Neil and I lied. And we just want to say that lying is wrong. And also, don't bring weapons to your high school. And drugs are bad. This has been a very special episode of Mortal Kombat Podquest. Thank you.
The more you know.
Da-da-da.
So, yeah. So he's like, hey, you should go get your old job back. And then he just poofs into nowhere. And we're just kind of left with Zero being like, what the fuck just happened? So we cut back to Zhujian, and Kung Lao and Taja are now sneaking back into the Baron's place.
Loudly and badly. A lot of the sneaking that happens in this episode is loud and bad.
And Kung Lao's kind of thief-shaming Taja a little bit. He's like, you weren't innocent and this kind of stuff. And she talked about how she chose to sleep in the basement because her other choice was to sleep with the Baron, and she has standards, which thank God somebody on this show does.
Somebody needs to.
And she's helping Kung Lao sneak in. She knows like the servants' paths to all the rooms upstairs, and she talks about how when she was there, she snuck into Jen's room once and like tried on her fancy clothes, and it made her feel nice. It was this kind of interesting character building moment where you kind of realize that maybe she's just had a rough life and she's down on her luck. It doesn't make her a bad person. But also, when did she have time to sneak up to Jen's room and try on her clothes? It's been a day. Like, did she do it immediately?
Maybe. I think what we've established in our discussions of this television show is that it's not worth scrutinizing the details. They're not consistent.
Yeah, I'll have to let some of these things go.
Yeah, because if we point out every weird inconsistency, woof.
Yeah, that would be a whole separate show.
Yeah.
Anyway, so they're sneaking in through the trading post, and I guess Kung Lao senses someone behind him, and he turns around and he just like elbows Zero in the face because Zero had the same idea.
Again, executioner-esque. People are just sort of swinging behind him with, dare I say, reckless abandon.
Just throwing bows.
Oh, and we finally get the fucking, this is what Mortal Kombat is, and this is what the realms are and shit, and everybody goes, bro, you lost me at Thunder God. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? We finally get the, like, you sound insane moment for just explaining what Mortal Kombat is.
Taj is like, this thief in the basement told me I should help Kung Lao, and Sue was like, this beggar in the woods told me I should help come back and get my job back. And
Kung Lao's like, did it look like Raiden? And they're like, who's Raiden? And they're like, oh, he's like the Thunder God. And they're like, what?
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, there's realms and sorcerers and demons and shit. And they're just like, whoa, man, slow down, buckaroo.
Yeah, they're both like, nice try, dude. Climate change isn't real. Get it? Because he's a Thunder God. Okay, it's weather related. All right.
And that's climate, I guess.
Yeah.
I like that you said get it. Like, you were like, this joke is about to be so fucking cerebral. I hope you're ready.
Hey.
Thunder climate.
I was proud of it.
I'm not being mean. I'm yes-anding.
So they keep making their way through the trading post, and it's dark, and they're being real sneaky, and then they get to Jen's door, and Kung Lao's just about to fucking kick it open.
Yeah, also, they weren't being that sneaky. They were just sort of like, I feel like in reality they would have been making quite a bit of noise. They were just sort of walking a little bit slower than usual.
It was implied. It was TV sneakiness. How about that?
The sneakiness was implied?
Well, it was television. It was television sneaking, right? You still have to hear.
No, I understand, but I love the idea that They don't have to act sneaky because the audience knows it's supposed to be sneaky.
No, that's exactly it. That's exactly what I'm saying.
I know. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
Because it negates all acting if you have context.
Right.
It's like you can do anything you want if the audience knows what it's supposed to be.
Yeah. Yeah, that's just one of the truths of the world. That's what I think they call it. Film magic,
movie magic.
Yeah, I think it actually was released on like the first 2 episodes on DVD.
Actually, yeah, it's like a 90-minute. Yeah, it is.
as a movie. So Kung Lao's about to kick the door down, and like the only one of the 3 of them with any kind of finesse, our new friend Taja like stops him and just opens the door. She's like, "It's a little quieter this way."
Right.
They go to Jen's room, and she's like tied up on the bed, and just everyone is in that room. All the guards.
Yeah, that is the
Takeda.
funniest shit in the world. Like they sneak in, and the camera just pans over, and I'm like, every single person is in this room.
There's 20 fucking people.
Everybody is in this fucking room. It's so funny. It's so fucking funny. It's just like, oh, everyone's here. Like, everyone's just hanging out.
Everyone's there in clear vision, and Takeda still gets like face to face with Kung Lao and goes, "It's me, Kung Lao." Like,
yeah, I don't know. Yeah,
No shit,
Takeda's
dude.
on some weird shit, man.
and he's starting to sound like a robot a little bit.
Yeah, I gotta say, I know we're gonna get to it more later when he starts talking more. I do not like the Scorpion voice.
The robot Scorpion voice.
It's not even robotic. It's just weird.
It's also inconsistent.
Oh yeah, it's very different. I'll say that. But first, we have a fight scene in here.
Yeah, it's round 2 from episode 1 where they were fighting in Jen's bedroom, Kung Lao and Takeda, and it's playing out pretty similarly with Takeda totally having the upper hand, and he gets Kung Lao down, and the Baron is like, "That's enough, Takeda. Let's take him away." And Takeda just straight up goes like, "Your soul belongs to Shang Tsung."
Right. Yeah.
And he starts green magicking the soul out, right?
And then the dad is like, hey, whoa, hey, don't get any soul on the carpet, buddy. Somebody stop Takeda from ripping out this man's soul.
Yeah, he's like, "Whoa, dude, hey, one rule.
Hey, man,
No green magic in the house."
They were cool. Nobody said they were cool with a soul being ripped out today. Not one of us said that. Not one.
Yeah, so he has one of the guards try to pull Takeda off, and Takeda like knocks the guard off, and then the guard hits the Baron Rayland, and Baron Rayland like falls into the shield, like a spiked shield of one of the other guards, because again, there's 40 people in this room, all way too close together.
Yeah, and not a single person's got a mask on except for Scorpion later.
No social distancing to speak of whatsoever.
No, wildly irresponsible if you think about it.
But the Baron gets impaled on this spiked shield.
It's so funny. It's such a weird anticlimactic way to kill that guy off.
Yeah, and Takeda grabs Jen and just like books it out the door. And Kung Lao's about to chase him, and Seer's like, "No, stop, he'll break your legs." Like, what the fuck? Like,
And
no,
then
go
Seer's
get
like,
him.
Don't ask me why he didn't break his legs. I guess he must be possessed by a hell demon.
He's carrying a person. You can catch up with him and win. Like, he's handicapped
No,
right
but
now.
first somebody has to talk to the dying dad.
Right. Because suddenly,
We're supposed to be empathetic for the fucking rapist.
God, yeah. And he's doing his deathbed apology and asks Kung Lao to go save Jen. And then the motherfucker dies. And I think we're going to count that as a fatality, even as accidentally as it was. Do we attribute that to Takeda or to the random guard?
I think we need to make sure that the random guards get some points.
Okay, so random guard fatality.
Takeda may well have more chances.
So that's three so far. 2 from Shang Tsung, 1 from a clumsy guard. Yeah, so now our core 3, Zero, Taja, and Kung Lao, are just kind of casually strolling out of the trading post, talking about where to find Jen, right? Kung Lao's like, "Oh, he may have taken her to Outworld." And they're like, "What's Outworld?" And he's like, "It's another universe or realm. It's hard to explain." Taja goes, oh, is that where your thunder god is from? And the camera just pans over slightly and we can see that Raiden was there. And he's like, I wouldn't be fucking caught dead in Outworld. Are you kidding me?
Get my name out your mouth if you're gonna talk about Outworld.
Yeah. So,
and then I guess we get another one of those classic Raiden pep talks.
right.
Complete with stupid fucking one-liner at the end.
Yeah. Raiden straight up like, I fucking told you so, Kung Lao. Like, I told you.
You dumb shit.
Yeah, because Kung Lao had that moment where he's like, this is all my fault. I should have killed Takeda when I had the chance, and I should have killed Shang Tsung last time. Yeah, he got his humbling.
And then it's
early.
like, yeah, that is your mercy was your hubris. And then Raiden is like, first of all, I was right, so fuck you. And then Raiden's like, also, you gonna fulfill your destiny now or what?
Yeah.
I think they're going over here if you want to fulfill your destiny or something.
Right.
That's the deal.
Yeah, so then Kung Lao's trying to figure out where Takeda took Jen, and he's like, hey, remember all those visions you had last episode? I was like, oh yeah, they were all around the temple. He must have taken her to the temple. And he runs off, and the fucking Raiden, as they go off to the temple, Raiden just kind of goes, ugh, I need a vacation.
And I'm so tired of these fucking one-liners.
That's not a joke. He says, I need a vacation. Fuck you. Fuck you, Raiden.
Raiden, you're a god. Do whatever you want.
So we get the temple exterior shot from the movie, the Thai temple.
Yeah, I will say we're getting a lot of reused material.
There'll be plenty of that as the show goes on. And someone goes into the temple, into the one room that the temple seems to have, the same one Kung Lao and Jen were getting horny at in the first episode. And he's like, Kung Lao's in trouble. I need 2 strong men. And 2 like red cloaked guys come. And then the person turns around and is like, I need 2 strong men to kill him. And it's, holy fuck, it's Scorpion. He's got the mask on and everything.
Yeah, the reveal is very weird. Again, I don't know why they're doing it like a big surprise. Well, they are because he's in costume now.
Yeah.
But it's like, yeah, we know. So it's a very weird reveal. But yeah, he's like fully masked out, yellow fit, ninja costume, weirdo voice. Takeda is gone. He needs 2 strapping lads. And they're going to go fight some people.
Yeah, we've got full Scorpion now. We only achieved a half Scorpion last episode. We've now achieved a full Scorpion. So they, the three heroes, like, make it to, like, the road that leads to the temple. And there's 2 red cloaked, monks waiting for them. And then, oh shit, those red monks are now possessed. They got evil eyes like Scorpion. No skulls superimposed over their faces, but we don't really need it. We can tell they're evil. And Kung Lao just kind of like punches one of them and runs past.
Yeah, he's like, you guys handle this. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go do this.
But like, shouldn't those guards have weren't they there to stop Kung Lao? They just like let him go by.
Yeah, no, totally. And also, my favorite part of this is that in fight shots after this, you can see Kung Lao continue to run away. Like, you can see him in the distance keep running. And I'm just like, I love their commitment to the consistency within the backgrounds, but you can just watch him keep running for a long time.
Zero and Taja are just... Does his position ever change? Is he like... He's like real far away, but then they cut and he's a little closer than he was because of the editing.
I didn't notice anything like that, but I swear I noticed in more than one shot you can see him continue to run away.
Oh, gosh. I love that.
Yeah, it's good. It happens at least once, but I swear it happened twice.
God. I guess we're going to watch this for a 4th time today. So we've got Zero and Taja teaming up to fight these possessed monks, and it's like Zero's, he's a cop, right? He was a bodyguard. He was like a privatized like mercenary cop, basically. And now he's got to fight with this like streetwise thief who he has like already shown us he thinks is just like scum, right? Criminals are scum, right? I'm a fucking cop.
Right.
Right, ACAB. So
yeah.
But they actually like fight really well together. Like they team up well, they're kind of like, hey, this thing, like, yeah, they know all the same tricks. It was a cool fight, and I love seeing like the monk robes as they were like flipping and kicking around. It was visually pleasing.
Yeah, once again, the fights continue to be the high point. The fights are just good. The fights are good. It's that simple.
Yeah, I feel like we have to say something more than there was a good fight, because it's the best part of the show.
I hate to not have more commentary, but aside from breaking it down like move by move, I don't have much more than like, yeah, it's visually compelling. It's kinetic. It's mostly well edited. Like there's not a ton of like really tight, really fast editing where you can't really see what's happening. Like there's a general sense of like spatial cohesion. Like, yeah, it's just a good fight. It's just a good time. That's it.
It was also a character building fight for me, because like unlike like when Kung Lao and Taja were fighting when they were escaping the execution, they were in separate sections fighting. But like here now we've got Taja and Zero fighting the same opponents together, right, and pulling off moves together. So it kind of showed a connection between the two characters. Like, oh, they fight well together, right?
Kraft macaroni and fight chemistry.
So we get to the temple, and Jin is in the temple. She's just kind of standing there, right?
Very obviously bait.
Little worm on a big fucking hook, to quote The Crow.
I will say, there's moments of this here, but just throughout the episode, I just want to double down on Jen is given a lot more to do, and the actress whose name I do not have in front of me,
Jennifer Renton,
far better than part 1 of this episode. Like, leaps and bounds more to do, and therefore, I guess, I don't know if she just felt like she could do better by that material, but she's a lot more emotive and a lot more, like, into it in a way that makes you, like, really more connected to the experience of wanting to, like, see the rescue work, because she's, like, all in a way that it didn't feel like she was before.
Yeah, we've seen her help, we've seen her fight some guards and save Kung Lao and stand up to her father and all this kind of stuff. Like she's also, I don't think she's had a single outfit change this entire episode. I think she's still wearing
I think
the
it's
clothes
just
from last episode. So, good, I guess. I don't really.
Hey man, we can't all have infinite outfits.
Yeah, but
the costume department burned 4 of them in one ep, so they're like, okay, we need this 5th one to last. Kill her in this one.
Okay. So Kung Lao gets to the temple and he sees Jen, and then, man, we get our first shot of just full Scorpion. He steps out from the shadow, looks just like he did in the movie, and Kung Lao's like, Takeda, and fucking Scorpion goes, Takeda is no more. I am Scorpion.
I'm going to fight your ass.
Get over here.
And then Snake Chain does a lot of sort of movement on its own. Just sort of chases Kung Lao around.
It does. They did that in the movies too, where so Scorpion throws his like harpoon, his spear, and it's like a living serpent, right? And it can kind of chase you around. Remember the Johnny Cage fight in the movie where he got it like tangled up around all the trees because it was following him? It's the same kind of thing here with all the columns. But there's one big difference, that the serpent harpoon in the show it's got a lot more girth to it. Yeah,
and the CG's just worse looking.
Yeah.
It's unpleasant. I don't like looking at it very much.
It is. When you see it coming out of his hand, it looks like it's like the thickness of a, I don't know. It's
gross. It's just gross. It's just gross. And the
it's
hole is really big in his hand. It's just gross.
Yeah. I feel like it's in the movies, maybe it was more of a grower, but in this one, it's definitely a shower, if you know what I mean.
No, thank you, dude.
We're leaving that in.
And they fight, and hate to be a broken record once again, pretty good. Pretty good time. The column looks cheap as fuck that they kick Scorpion through at one point. Looks like it's made out of styrofoam. But this is the only fight that includes flips, kicks, and a man falling into hell.
Okay, yeah, it sure does.
It's the only one where the earth literally breaks open.
Yeah.
And a man falls into hell.
Kung Lao dispatches the serpent spear with an axe. They start throwing down. It's a solid fight. Jen's up there. She wants to help, right? So she grabs like a candlestick, and Scorpion's got his back to her, and she goes to like attack him with this like candlestick, and he turns around and he's like does like a little hellfire mouth Hadoken, And she gets hit and flies across the room. She's not burnt at all. She got hit with fire. It didn't burn her at all. But she's like knocked down and she's out. And Kung Lao's like, no, Jen. And it's like this real awkward cut, right?
Yeah.
By this point, Zero and Taja have caught up. And Kung Lao's just kind of like over Jen. And she's kind of conscious. And she's like, did I kill him? And he's like, oh, almost. Which was just a lie.
Yeah, just a bold-faced lie just to make somebody feel better. And those don't always help people. Remember that time 20 minutes ago or some shit where Neil and I apologized for lying?
That is good podcasting, my friend.
You can't apologize if the person dies, so maybe don't lie to your friends. And certainly don't lie to the love of your life, who now lives inside of your heart.
So now Kung Lao's pissed and Scorpion's like taunting him from the shadows, and it's time to end this fucking fight, right? So the big thing I want to hit on here is when Kung Lao like finally defeats Scorpion. Oh, I got two things. So they got these great close-up shots of like the hand-to-hand like parrying and everything. There's one, and you can tell like Kung Lao's dedicated to ending this fucking fight. There's one part where like Scorpion throws like a left hook, and without even looking, Kung Lao just like punches it out of like punches the punch with his own punch and knocks it away so he doesn't get hit. That was fucking sick.
It's about as outrageous as it sounds.
Yeah. And then when he finally, like, he's ready to just do this, he does this jump, like, backflip kick where he drops his foot straight down on Scorpion's head. You can see it in the opening, the intro, but it's so similar to the move that, Shang Tsung used to almost defeat him in Mortal Kombat. I thought that was maybe like an intentional callback of like, oh, like now Kung Lao's just like fighting. He's ruthless. He's fighting to win. He's fighting to kill at this point. He's not fighting for honor anymore, right?
Right.
I thought it was an interesting, it could maybe be argued. I don't know that they put that much thought into it. I think it was more like,
they might have.
This is a cool move. Let's have him do that move. Yeah, I thought that was cool. So then what the fuck happened once Scorpion goes down? What was that?
Well, the giant fissure opened in the ground, and he starts to scream and wail in terrible agony. And as far as I can tell, he panicked and flailed and screamed and whined as hell emerged beneath him, and he fell into a giant hell pit.
Yeah, you see him like actually splash into the lava at the bottom.
Yeah, he falls all the way down into a deep, big hole cavern in the ground and straight into hell, apparently. And Taja just sort of watches it from over Kung Lao's shoulder. And then later in the episode, she says that she had like seen some shit today, basically, that makes her kind of less skeptical. And it's like, you did watch a man fall straight into hell. So,
but she's still not a believer. That's important.
That's for dorks.
Scorpion is now in hell. I guess they never call it the Nether Realm. It seems like maybe it's the Nether Realm, you know? I don't really know. That's speculation.
We'll find out.
Kung Lao runs back over to Jen, and Jen is just dying, right?
Yeah.
And she gives him a key.
A comically large key.
Yeah, like a Legend of Zelda dungeon key.
A key to the city, basically.
And she says, your heart is my home now. And then she's that's it for Jen, right?
Yeah. Fatality number 4.
Yeah, that's a Scorpion fatality for sure.
Big episode if you love murder and also Scorpion. Huge episode for you.
So if you're a Mortal Kombat fan, basically.
Yeah. So, shout out to all my Mortal Kombat heads in the chat.
We cut to later, and Kung Lao's at that same temple, and he's lighting a candle and saying a prayer for Jen. Raiden shows up, and they have the conversation about what the rest of the show is going to be. Right?
Right. The fulfill your destiny now conversation that for some reason I thought had happened earlier, but it definitely happened now.
Yeah, but now we have the defining terms, right? He says you need to set up in a place in the center of Zhuzhen, which is
it's a crossroad between realms.
Yeah, and you're going to meet all kinds of people, and some of them are going to be good, some of them are going to be bad. You got to basically trust your judgment, but this is what you have to do now. Shang Tsung has proven that he can attack you at any time in any way, So be on your guard.
Omniscient asshole Shang Tsung.
Who somehow has a window into Zhu Jin.
He just sort of does from the Cobalt Mines. We don't know how or why. It doesn't matter. He's a sorcerer. He sorcers.
We do know that Vorpax tipped him off to the execution, so she's got some kind of a lens into the city.
Yeah, she's some sort of mysterious... She's alluding to Shang that she's got, she's more than meets the eye, so to speak. And we learn from her, because Shang Tsung gets really upset. And when we cut to Shang Tsung after Kung Lao has been like, okay, I guess I have to fulfill my destiny now. Raiden, I understand. And Raiden's like, I also understand. And they're like, cool, we understand each other. That's great. And he's like, okay, I got a plan. Let's hit the road. Cut to Shang Tsung, who is so frustrated that stuff didn't work. He's just trying to crush a big rock with his hands.
I think wasn't it a skull? I thought he was trying to crush a skull with his hands and doing like a bad job of it.
No matter what he's trying to crush, it's hilarious because he's just squeezing it real hard with a lot of anger in his eyes. And Vorpax is basically like, yo. Look, sometimes plans fuck up. And then Shang Tsung gets upset and he goes, well, sometimes really smart plans from the smartest people fuck up. But she's like, think about it. How many people has Shao Kahn sent down to the Cobalt Mines? You're basically sitting on top of an endless font of powerful warriors in the Cobalt Mines who you could send to go fuck with Kung Lao, and they're like, "Oh fuck, you're totally right," and they're just like basically rubbing their hands together and twirling their mustaches, like, "We've got so much power down here with all of our big warrior men in this big
we'll make
cave.
an army
and an army." And I really like that because it's a very clever way to set up what is effectively a monster of the week scenario, but it's like fighter of the week, which is what I'm assuming is about to happen.
Absolutely. It's going to be great.
So I really liked that.
Yeah, it rules. So Kung Lao's now talking with Taja and Zero, and Taja wants to join Kung Lao on his quest, right? She's like, I want to do something good with my life. I know I just saw a scorpion man fall into hell, but I don't know that I totally believe in all of this kind of stuff. But I still want to help out, right?
Right. And we're getting more like of her personality. Like she's got like, she's not quippy, but like she feels like a human being feels.
Yeah, she's kind of reacting to this kind of stuff in a natural way. Like that was really weird and I can't explain it.
She's taking it in stride. Meanwhile, Zero is very much still doing his, like, the burly, tough security man thing.
He's also kind of pouting, right?
He's being a big baby boy.
Are you guys going to invite me to this?
Yeah, he's like, I guess I'm going to go clean toilets forever, unless...
Yeah, no one's going to hire me as a bodyguard because the last people I was bodyguarding for fucking died a horrible death. And then Kung Lao's like, why don't you hang out with us? And he's like, okay, but only if it means getting revenge for Jen's death. All this other stuff you talk about doesn't make any sense to me at all. Again, he just also saw a scorpion warrior fall into a hell pit.
Did he see that? Because he was not in frame. We don't know if he saw that.
He fucking saw it.
We don't know.
He saw it.
Benefit of the doubt for my man Zero.
At the very least, he saw that same scorpion warrior try to suck out Kung Lao's soul earlier in the episode.
He did probably see that, yeah.
Yeah, they cut to a reaction shot of him. He was surprisingly, like, chill about the green magic. He probably was just like, this isn't actually real.
Well, green isn't an inherently evil color. So maybe he just didn't know. If it were red, maybe he would have been like, ooh, that's bad.
So far in this series, green has only been an evil color.
But Zero doesn't know that.
Zero doesn't know anything.
Because he hasn't been to the Cobalt Mines of Shokan or the Mortal Kombat tournament.
He's just a cop.
Just a small town cop.
So the episode ends with the three of them kind of walking out of the temple grounds.
Yeah, like riding off into the sunset.
With another nice voiceover by Raiden where he kind of just talks about Mortal Kombat some more.
Yeah.
And that's the episode.
Yeah, and you can't say that wasn't the second part of Warrior Eternal.
Right?
I was far more entertained this time than last time.
A lot more action in this one.
Yeah, the setup's out of the way, so they just kind of get to the good shit.
Yeah, we get to see Scorpion. We get to see some character growth from
Character
Jen.
development. Yeah.
But then she dies, and that's sad. I don't think I like the setup of kill the woman so that Kung Lao can do his job. That's a pretty shitty trope.
That's lame, but it's also no more lame and shitty than try to redeem Rape Dad as a plot device to give Kung Lao motivation. Neither of those are great.
No, that was pretty terrible, too. Oh, God.
Also, I do like, though, that Kung Lao just straight up could have accepted the apology verbally and refuses to do so. He just doesn't fucking say anything and lets the guy slowly die and then leave.
I'm sure he wanted to be like, fuck you, you motherfucker. This is your fault.
Yeah.
Really, it was the Baron's fault more than it was Kung Lao's fault, I think.
No, yeah, nobody can predict the arrival of a demon, but you can try to make sure that you're not in a situation where you've hired a demon.
True.
And he certainly did a bad job of that. And also he sucks.
We got to get to know Taja, who's
the most interesting character we've had so far.
Right. Kung Lao's he's a monk, basically, right?
Not basically, I think he just is.
His morals were pretty black and white. We've got Zero, the fascist, whose morals are extremely black and white.
Zero, the narc.
And then we've got Taja now, who's kind of occupying like the gray space between. The dynamic needed her, because if it was just like God cop and regular cop fighting people, the show would kind of suck. Taja's got a lot of really great stuff coming up too, and I'm really glad that you finally got to meet her in this episode.
Oh yeah, she's far and away, again, because she feels like a human person, she is the most interesting. And she's got a wide variety of emotions.
Yeah. So that's the episode. All right. So let's talk about Bruce Locke, who plays Shang Tsung.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. He's an actor.
The best.
He rules. I love him in this role. He's a really interesting guy.
He's a good actor. He's been in a lot of stuff. He's done a lot of voiceover work for video games and cartoons. He's done a lot of live action work also. Any good ones?
His first role was in RoboCop 3.
Are you? Oh, wait. Who is he? Who is he? Is he? Oh my God. Wait a fucking second. Is he who? Ooh.
He plays Otomo in RoboCop 3.
Oh my God. That fucking rules. I fucking knew that was it. Holy shit. Oh, I can't wait to tell Liam about that. Oh my God. I knew that was going to be who he was. I had to look up the character name. Fuck. Okay, so I've seen this man fight before. And he's playing a robot ninja in that movie. It's Mortal Kombat as fuck.
That was his first movie role. He had been on like soap operas and things like that before then. That was his first movie role. So he trained in Kenpo and Gung Fu to prepare for that role in RoboCop 3.
That fucking rules so hard.
As far as I can tell, that's mostly how he started studying martial artists and got him the role in Conquest, in Mortal Kombat Conquest. He's also he plays General Yamori in Man in the High Castle.
Cool.
So that's what he's up to these days. So he's
around.
Yeah, he's also an avid tennis player, apparently. I don't know professionally, I think just recreationally. Yeah, he's just,
Right, he's not challenging like Roger Federer and then fucking fighting robotic policemen. I'm very excited by the fact that I knew who this guy was because I didn't realize.
Finally, let's talk a little bit about Jeffrey Meek.
Who's anything but on this show.
Yeah, he plays, okay, nice.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, that one's a bit of a slow burn. How you gotta build up to that one?
So he plays Raiden and Shao Kahn. He's also a trained martial artist. He has a black belt in Aikido. The thing that stuck out the most when I was looking over his bio was that in 1992 to 1993, he starred in a TV series called Raven that was set in Hawaii. And I think his character's name in that was Jonathan Raven. And he was an ex-Special Forces agent and a former Black Dragon operative.
Different Black Dragon. Okay.
He was literally a quote-unquote retired Special Forces ninja living in Hawaii. It was a martial arts drama that he was the lead character of. And
a retired Special Forces ninja living in Hawaii named Jonathan Raven.
Yeah, that was a very
Magnum
real...
PI's for fucking suckers and losers, dude. Catch me watching Raven.
Right? I'm once I found this fact today, I'm obsessed with finding this show now. I have to watch this.
Oh yeah, we need to. Yeah. We gotta watch that.
So there's absolutely a lot of parallels with that idea. So that's all I really want to say. I just had to get through Bruce Locke and Jeffrey Meek so we could, get to know some more of our cast of characters. And I think it's time to call this quits.
Yeah, that sounds like we kind of got that's episode 2 in the books. I'm very pleased to have learned all of that new information about those two fine men, and I'm looking forward to learning more about the fine men and women of Mortal Kombat Conquest in whatever episode 3 is.
Yeah, I think I'll just go ahead and say it here. We might cut this out if I don't like it. But I think for next episode, Corey, I've got quite a bit of information, some things to share about the name Takeda and how that relates to Scorpion from the video games in a way that you're not going to be expecting.
What are video games? I'm just okay. That didn't go over great. Okay, well, I thought that was going to get more of a laugh right away, and it didn't.
Yeah. So if you're up for it, I think next time we'll do a little bit of deep dive into what we saw in the pilot episodes of Mortal Kombat Conquest, how some of it may relate to the games, how some of it's different, and I think that we'll call that some kind of a spin on There Is No Knowledge That Is Not Power episode Codex 2.1.
There's the title. We found it. Stop there.
Okay. That's what
Perfect.
We'll call it.
There Is No Knowledge That Isn't Power Codex 2.1 episode.
With a K.
Remix.
With a K. Chopped and screwed.
It's the remix.
It's the remix.
If we don't get out of here, are we just going to keep saying dumb stuff until time stops?
It seems like it. All right. Let's cut this recording
What sound
out.
effect do we want to put at the end of this one?
Probably we'll figure something out. Maybe we'll find like a snake slithering and we'll lay it over the spear talk, the girthy spear talk.
We don't have an outro yet, like a formal one, right? We just got to do plugs and shit.
Yeah, we should probably plug some stuff. Go for it, Corey.
Yeah, I should write something for this so I feel better prepared when it comes to this part.
Better prepared? That's not in keeping with the spirit of this podcast, but go ahead.
Yeah, the writers certainly weren't prepared. If you want to hear more from me, I've got another podcast. It's called They Made Another One. That's with a question mark and an exclamation point. I talk about weird, obscure, often forgotten sequels, reboots, remakes of movies with my good friend Liam. You can catch us on podcast services and on Twitter at They Made Another. You can find me on Twitter, where you'll mostly see me share this podcast and that podcast at Mr. Corey Price.
All right. And I am on Twitter and Instagram at FinalNeal with an A, Neal. Instagram, I mostly just post the carpentry work I've been working on lately because I am but a lowly carpenter by day.
And it's good. You should follow it.
Thank you, Corey. Ooh, appreciate that.
Hell yeah, brother.
Yeah. I've also got another Instagram account. I'm a big retro video game collector, so I'm just kind of showing off my collection over on Instagram at A Mess of Games.
If you like the Sega Saturn, good news.
A lot of Sega Saturn, a lot of Dreamcast, a lot of Neo Geo stuff.
SNK, you're in good hands.
Plenty of Mortal Kombat posts over there, too. Yeah, we'll put links to all those things in the show notes. We'll definitely get a link to They Made Another One in there. Go check out Corey's podcast. It's pretty great.
Thank you. That's nice.
His co-host Liam definitely has some wild opinions about things that
I like how I somehow don't, but Liam does.
Disagree with. Well, yeah, you do too. But there's a specific issue that Liam and I are diametrically opposed on. So, also, he's my enemy because his name is almost my name backwards. So,
sure.
Thanks for listening, and we'll talk to you guys next week.